Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to this week's edition of Urshel Speaks. Going to have a quick little chat with you. Got a question I want to ask. I hope that everyone is doing wonderfully. As a matter of fact, let's just jump right into it. Today on Urshel Speaks, we want to be the right man at the right time, saying the right words to change the world, and that world starting with your life and my life. And so, the question I have for you is, how are you doing? How are you doing? And the reason why I'm asking that question and that the conversation just for a short time that I want to have today is, I really wonder how many of us and how often do we really check in with ourselves? I mean, I know we say that all the time. I see my friends, someone text, say, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" And I know most of the time, even from some of the things I did previously in life, I used to, when I used to work with a lot of young people, and when I was in the church business, working in the industry of religion, and and often I would ask someone, "How you doing?" and or "How's it going?" I would ask them that question, and they would smile because typically we were at church or some sort of church function or church event, and they would smile and say, "Oh, I'm great, so good to see you." And every once in a while, when I asked that question or when I felt compelled to do so, I would ask that question. I would say, "How are you doing? How's it going? Whatever." And they would say fine, and they would smile, or some people might say some cliche or some phrase that gives this air that everything's wonderful. And I would look at them from time to time and say, "Did you just lie to me?" And that would catch people off guard. And I can tell you more than a few times. And obviously I wouldn't do that in public. I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. What I was really communicating is that I actually care how you're doing, and I want you to tell me the truth. And more than a few times, when that happened, when I felt compelled to say that, to ask that question, that second question, "Did you just lie to me?" They would burst into tears. Or they would say, "Can I talk to you in your office?" Or they would just say, "I'm not doing well. Things aren't going well. I'm frustrated. I'm fighting with my parents or my spouse or whatever is going on." And it just had me thinking. I have another conversation that I'm going to be having today, and it has me thinking about this reality. And we even saw over the past week, I believe, the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, she made a statement. I'm not even sure exactly how it was released or if it was, she was talking to someone or whatever. But I saw that she released a statement that because of everything that's been going on with the coronavirus and COVID, that she's dealing with light depression, I believe was the term that has been used, in some level of darkness and cloud that she's experiencing. And we have heard about suicides and different things because of people being isolated and being separated. And that's not what I really want to talk about. I just appreciate the fact that someone that really her life has been out in the public for better than a decade now, but she has every right to be private. But it was actually, I believe, kind of empowering that she shared that, because sometimes it gives people the freedom, or it helps people to say, it's okay to say that, it's okay to feel that, it's okay to talk about how I'm feeling. But here's what I know, and what I think about most of us in general is that we don't very often really check in with ourselves. We don't very often really sit down and evaluate where we are. I know for my life in general, most of the time, you're so busy doing the stuff that needs to be done, working the job, maintaining the relationships, trying to, have a little fun, that we don't really often take that time, if ever, take that time to really check in with ourselves, to really evaluate, how am I doing? Over the last few years, and then since February 28th of this year, but really over the last few years, one of the things that I've started really paying attention to is what's happening inside my body. Um, when I go to the doctor and I take labs, I can pull up on my phone right now all of my levels, all of my uh, all the blood tests, urine tests, all the other tests that they do. I've got it all in there. I can compare it to, a year ago or 2 years ago. And so I've been paying attention to what's been happening inside my body. Since I got injured in the car accident, I've been paying even more attention to how my body feels. And something else that I've been doing over the last few months is a different type of meditation. And this is, uh, I want to tell you about this a little bit because of some of what's happened in the process of doing this meditation. And if you're curious about it, if you want to know about it, just send me a message or comment if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, and I'll send you a link and tell you all about it. Yeah, I'll talk about it on the show whenever they allow me to become an affiliate or something, or get some credit for help driving traffic towards their website. But something that I really appreciate. I'd be glad to share it with you. Um, and maybe I can get her on the show. But one of the things that in this type of meditation, the real point and the real focus is being able to allow your body to, one, rest, and two, release stress, stress that's been stored in your body. Well, one of the things that they say is the body is a great accountant. And so every bit of stress that you've ever internalized is still there unless it's been released. One of the ways that it gets released is when you sleep, right? And so when you sleep, your body heals and recovers. It deals with some of the stress and gets it out. And this form of meditation helps you in that process. I do it twice a day, and different things happen. And here's one of the crazy things. And I'm going to talk about this and then get back to talking about you, because that's your favorite topic. It's my favorite topic, is me. Little secret, everybody's favorite topic is themselves at the end of the day. But sometimes those, even in that topic, we're kind of superfluous. We're just on the surface, superficial, when we really start thinking, or when we think about ourselves. We don't really get deep, check in where we are with our visions, our goals. How do we really feel on our happiness scale? Where are we? But in this meditation, um, it releases stress, and it keeps that stress releasing. And of course, this is all the stuff that they say in the advertising and the training. And so you never really know, how does this work, or what is the impact of it. And they said, you may experience these type of things because the same way that the emotions go in is the same way that they come out oftentimes. And so as a result of this, and going through this meditation and having this stress being released, um, they kind of caution you that, different, you may experience different things. You may have periods of sadness, or you may have periods of frustration, or whatever. And that's, the stress being worked out of your body. But be aware so that you don't, go in and quit your job, or you don't go in and ask for a divorce, or you don't go in and propose to someone you've been dating for, 2 weeks. And so as a result of this, and this is real. I mean, you can ask my wife. I was One night I was sleeping, and I don't know that I dream a lot. I definitely don't remember my dreams a whole lot. But I started having really vivid dreams. I mean, and like one dream after another, after another, after another. And then one night, laying in the bed with my wife, and all of a sudden, I yeah, I'm on a subway, and I'm in a fight with several people, and one person has a knife and they're trying to stab me, and and I block and I take a swing at this person, and I open my eyes. My wife's eyes are this big. I'm holding her wrist in bed. She's on the right of me, and I had taken a swing with my left, and I did hit her. I was afraid that I had swung and hit my wife, but I grabbed her arm, and I was holding it, and it was so crazy that she was scared, and I was scared. I thought I had hit my wife in my sleep, and it was so vivid. And I sat up, and I said, I'm sorry, I was in a fight. And then later that same night, I had another dream, and another situation, and I was running, and I was literally, my legs were moving like I was in a full on sprint. A few weeks later, I in a similar situation, someone comes at me with a knife in my dream. Punched the lamp on my nightstand because I swung with the right hand this time, and and that's all of this stress that's coming out of my body, and and I'm remembering all of these dreams, and I'm having dream after dream after dream after dream after dream, and they're very vivid, very interactive, and just so you know, I didn't hit my wife. I haven't been kicked out of the bedroom. I was really thinking that I might have to, spend some time on the couch or in another room until all of this got worked out. But it made me think about how much stress, how many things are just have been pushed down and shoved down and just ignored, and the impact that's having on my body. And I'm no different than anyone else. I've had my stresses and my challenges in life just like you have and everybody else have, and we have a way of just kind of shoving that stuff down. I remember a friend asked me one time years ago, and I can't even say, I can say that I learned from it to some degree, but I had a friend ask me, um, when was the last vacation you took? And and I was looking at him, and I was trying to come up with something good to say. And the truth was, I had nothing good to say because I couldn't think of the last time that I really actually took a vacation, got away from everything, and just recharged my batteries. It's something that in my life I haven't been great at doing or made a priority. And I was trying to find it on Facebook, and I cannot. But I'll find it. I'll post it. I'll copy and paste it and put it in the comments as well. But my daughter Danielle, she's a nurse, and she posted a little while back. It was actually I think she reposted or copied someone else's post or something, and it says, okay, to all you ladies out there over 30, give me some advice. And so she starts getting advice from people, and there was this amazing comment from my cousin, and we call her Mimo. Her name is Shatika, and she gave this advice, and I was like, man, this needs to be either put to music, or someone needs to make a movie of this, or it needs to be, needs to be a spoken word, or something. But she said that, and I'm just going to paraphrase. She said, every day, look at yourself in the mirror and promise yourself that you're going to be kind to yourself, that you're going to be forgiving, that you're going to, give yourself the opportunity to grow and make mistakes, and that you're going to love yourself, and that you're always going to, think about you, and you're going to build yourself up, and you're going to encourage yourself, and you're going to believe in you, all of these things. And I mean, it was just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And I realized in reading that and how much emotion it created in me and how much emotion it created in my daughter, and just because it's something that we really don't pay attention to. Um, we regularly get oil changes in our cars if we're smart. We regularly. Um, oh, my daughter's listening. She said she took it down. I'm gonna find it, or get my cousin to rewrite it. But but again, the whole point is this: is that if we don't take the time to really check in with ourselves, to calculate where we are. And sometimes we don't do this, or we don't want to do things like this because of the fear that, maybe we'll be disappointed. Just like sometimes not wanting to check your bank account because you don't want to, or check your investments because you don't want to see what's happened, or how bad it might be. But the truth is, we want and we need the truth. We need to check in with ourselves and know how we're doing. And the reason why is because we're the ones that can make changes. We're the ones. My daughter just said, I re-loved it for you to find it. So let me see if I can find that, because that's going to be amazing if I can pull that up and share it with you, because I think it's super awesome. Here we go. There we go. Let me get it here. All right. So I'm going to read this to you from my daughter's page. And I just think this is amazing. And it really illustrates exactly what I'm talking about. This is what my cousin said to my daughter: look yourself in the mirror and promise yourself that you will always take care of that girl looking back at you. You will give her the love she didn't get. You will be her friend when her friends let her down. You will not let others abuse her or misuse her. You will give her the best of everything and encourage her when she falls. Don't judge her, but forgive her easily and remind her that she was created in the perfect will of the Almighty God. Never talk down to her. Speak life into her. Remind her to always be humble and help her dreams come true. But above all things, remind her every day that you love her. And again, it's absolutely amazing. It's wonderful, it's powerful, and it's so true, because in this process of checking in with ourselves, in this process, in a time where we're so busy and we have so much technology and so many things going on and so many messages. I mean, since we've been talking for 20 minutes, my phone, with the exception of those text messages from my daughter, because that's what just got us that. But in this 20 minutes that we've been talking, my phone has reacted at least 20 times. That's like one time a minute, with different things popping up, two phone calls, all types of stuff has happened. But in this day and age, it's more important than ever, I believe, that we take the time to check in with ourselves. We take the time to really pay attention to what's happening. Where are our emotions really? What I didn't realize before going through all of this de-stressing process is how much was just sitting inside me and having an impact. And it's literally like carrying around weight. And then I read something as as I started digging more into how much stress, we're carrying in our body and the impact that it's having. I read something that says that the body is capable of storing stress, not 7 days, not 7 years, not 70 years. The body is capable of storing stress for 7 generations past. Think about that. 7 generations. Think back to where people in from that you descend from were at 7 generations ago, and things that impacted your great 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 grandmother and grandfather, that may have been passed on to you and through your grandfather and great grandfather and father and mother, and things that are being stored in your body. And and I don't know how to fix all of that. And but I'm definitely interested and enthusiastic in learning about things like that, simply because I know that there's a higher plane that we can live on, but we have to be free to do that. And to be free to do that, we've got to really understand where we are in our life. What have we accepted? What level? I remember when my mother first got a grandfather clock in her house, and I think I'd moved out by then. And but during the day, the grandfather clock chimed, ding, ding, dong, dong, on every hour, and then different times. And so at first, it's like you hear it every time it goes off. And then after a while, someone comes over and they go, "Oh, there's a grandfather clock in here." And you're like, I don't even really hear it anymore. I don't even notice when it goes off, because you become uh, you almost become not immune to it, but you get so used to it that it just becomes a part of the background white noise of your life. But it's still going on, and there are so many things that we have accepted as just a part of the noise of our life, without recognizing the impact, and without recognizing the challenge, the struggle that puts, the weight, what it throws on our back. And we can't eliminate all of that. That's not what I'm assuming. And we can't just shut all of that noise off, although we do need to find times to be able to block out all the noise, really check in with ourselves, really check in and say, and again, not in a way of depressing ourselves, but where do I want to be in my life right now? What what is my happiness? What is my peace? What is my joy? What is it really based on? What makes me feel great about my life and about me and about where I'm going? And how am I doing on those things? How much time am I investing in my life and the things that I love and the things that I enjoy and the things that are moving me in the direction of where I want to be? Otherwise, we'll live a life where we just get up, go to work, do everything that life dictates to us. And we start to live life by default, instead of something that you've heard me say for a long time, instead of living life on purpose, living life in your passion, and living life on purpose, every day with purpose, every day feeding into your own joy, every day feeding into your own happiness, every day working towards the vision for your life that you have. Otherwise, you'll be working towards someone else's vision for your life. Otherwise, you become a, a in a world where we have focused on the consumer and driving people to buy this and do this and think this way. And if you don't want to take charge of your life, there's a whole system out here that is willing to take charge of your life for you and tell you everything that your life should be and everything that you need to do. But that system, just like any other system, is thinking about itself first. And there is a reality. And this is a narcissistic, it's not selfish, it's not a destructive way of thinking. But there is a system. I mean, there is a reality that we need to think about ourselves. We need to have vision for our life, for our families, for our joy, for our peace, for our happiness, for our success. You may have heard me talk about this book called Full Steam Ahead, and I used to use it as an illustration. And just to cut to the chase, it's about a man, and it's his funeral, and his daughter gives the eulogy. And after the eulogy, the man's sister comes up to the daughter and said, "You captured your father perfectly. That was a wonderful eulogy." And she says, "Thank you, but I didn't write it." And the aunt asked, who wrote it? She said, well, I believe Dad did. And the sister thought, and she said, you're right. I remember when he wrote that. And this man died prematurely. And so he died before, wasn't just natural causes at an old age. And they thought about it and they talked about it. And then they thought about how perfect the eulogy was that he had written years and years and years before. And what he had done is he had decided who he was going to be. He had decided what was going to be the testament of his life, what type of father he was going to be, what type of golfer he was going to be, and what type of friend, and how people would see him. And he had decided that a long time ago, and then he lived it out. He lived it out in a way that when it was read as his eulogy at his funeral, everyone said it was true. And so that's what I really, the mentality, the thought that I want to communicate today is that as we check in with ourselves, especially, we've had, such an interesting year. I think it's been amazing, even though we faced serious challenges, impacted our economy, impacted our lives. I mentioned, both of my daughters work in places where, they are impacted by lots of people and encountering lots of people. So, there's lots of concern, that we have in regards to that. But so I don't want to minimize the fact that this has been, this year has had some challenges, but I think it's been a great opportunity for us to really think about what's important, what really matters, who am I, and who am I becoming? And one of the things that I realized just a couple of weeks ago is that I'm becoming who I've always been. I am revealing more of who I've been since the day that I was born. More of that is starting to come out. And I'm excited about where life is, but I have to pay attention to me, because if I don't, and it's not just my health, it's my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health. If I don't pay attention to those things, if I don't look and say, where is the vision? Where do I want my life to be? Then I'll just end up somewhere. It's like getting in your car and just driving, just punching in a destination in the GPS, and then just taking turns and turns and turns. I love to watch The Office, and because it makes me laugh. And there's an episode where Michael is using GPS, and apparently it's like the first time he's in a rental car, and it's the first time he's used GPS. And the GPS tells him, turn right here, turn right here. And so Dwight's telling him, no, 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 it means go up here and turn right up there. But he said, no, it's saying turn right here. It's been right all along. And he turns right, and they end up driving the rental car into a lake, um, because he didn't really know where the destination was. He was just following whatever external directions were being given and not paying attention to the reality of the road that he was on. And I think that that's something that we can all fall into the trap of, just following. Hey, Katie, following this path that has been that is being dictated to us by the commercials and being dictated to us by everything that's out there. Apple can tell you what watch, what phone I'm going to have 2 years from now. And the reason why they can tell you, because basically, since they came out with the iPhone, I bought every phone that they have. I think I may have missed one or two along the way. They have a plan. Apple has a plan for my life. You know, American Airlines has a plan. Everybody has a plan for your life based on what their needs, desires, their goals, and their vision are. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But what I know is that if you don't have one, then you don't know which one of those plans, which one of those things that you should connect with, that you should allow into your life. You don't know what people you should allow into your life, because you're not judging your decisions, your relationships, your jobs, where you live, what you drive. You're not judging any of those things based on who you've already decided that you're going to be. You're not living by vision. You're not checking in with yourself to say, how am I doing? What matters to me? What is feeding my happiness? Who is stealing my peace and robbing me of my ability to just love every moment of my life? Who do I need to evict? What am I missing? Really taking the time to check in with yourself, to think about yourself, and to really orchestrate your life based on what you want it to look like when it's all said and done. So that when it's all said and done, more will be done than was said, and that you will have lived a life that lines up with everything that you thought life should be. So take the time, make it a priority, schedule time in your calendar, not just once or twice a year. Schedule time in your calendar every week, every day, whatever. How are you doing? You need to know. You need to make yourself a priority. And again, it's not narcissistic. It's not selfish. It's not being self-centered. It's really being responsible for the one life that you've been given. That certain amount of time that you have to consume oxygen on this planet, and to make it the best life possible, to create the best opportunity for the fullest expression of everything that you were created to be and everything that you dream about. Just like your car, just like your business, just like anything else that you care about. Reconcile. You reconcile your checkbook, see what money came in, what money's going out. Reconcile with your life. Reconcile with your happiness. And if we do that, if we really take it account, if we really take responsibility and give ourselves permission to love ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to be kind, to forgive ourselves, to encourage ourselves, if we really take the time to do that, then the whole world for us becomes better. Because it all starts on the inside. The outside world gets interpreted by what's on the inside. When I see something with my eyes, if it's something new, I instantly start to interpret it or relate it to something that I already know. I try to find a connecting point. That's just natural. That's what we all do. Find your happiness, your peace, your life, your vision. Focus on it. Check in with yourself. Take some time and ask yourself, how am I doing? And whatever the answer is, there's no wrong answer or bad answer, but it gives you the opportunity to take the next steps toward creating the greatest life that you can have and being the best version of you and the best expression of your life for the whole world to see. Awesome, Katie. Hey, I love you. It's great to have you listening. Everyone, and my name is Urshel. This is Urshel Speaks. I'm going to go ahead and let you go for today. Take some time for you. Check in with yourself. Give yourself permission to say, I'm okay, I'm not okay. But either way, I'm not going to stay this way because today is a day that I can make it a better day. And that's all I have to say. My name is Urshel Metcalf, and we'll see you soon. Make sure you go check me out on Medium. Follow me, read those articles there. Give me a holler on Facebook and let me know that you're listening. And we'll talk to you soon. Go out and make it the best day ever. This is Urshel, and I'm out.